Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. This is Samson to Liberian Public Radio. But I want to bring your attention to a show that I'm going to be having tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraging all of you, those of you that are listening to this video, to tune in tonight, because perhaps this might be some of the reason why we have all of the mess that is going on in our own country. Because you have to listen to these things. These things, the trouble we've been having in Liberia didn't start overnight. These are things that's been happening from time to time. There are those who came before us, past generation, failed to recognize these things, and will continue to repeat them. And because we ourselves have not yet able to recognize and see if those things can be rectified, so that this country, beautiful country of ours, can be built just by our hands as Liberian. Doesn't matter who you are at this point. Conquer country, it doesn't even exist anymore. We're all one another. We're all one country, one people. But if we do not understand why these things are happening to us, we're most likely not going to be able to find solution. So I ask you tonight to join me.
Yet, how does one begin to help people who swim on their own flooded streets to voting booths to vote incompetent criminals back into office?
Yes, that is a big question we all have to answer. How do you help people who will go to the voting booth swimming in their own flooded streets just to vote people in offices who are incompetent? And those incompetent people that are being voted in offices will also appoint people who are also incompetent. So this is like a big deal. How do we help our brothers and sisters to make sure that their voting rights are utilized effectively? They have the voting cards. They must be told how important their voting cards are to all of us. And so I'm saying those of us that have this platform, this is not time for hate. You don't come into this because you hate. You must do all you can to educate the voters themselves, how important their voting cards are. Because of their vote, our leaders be able to do what is right for our people. Join me this evening as I try to explore this particular question and many more that will be coming. Join me this evening at 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, where we will take on this question and be able to see how much we can go. With your help, we, the Liberian people, will be able to educate our brothers and sisters that have the right to vote whoever they want, but they must do so with responsibility. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much.
C'est autissement, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas loupé. Quand il y a Sylvie, il a quoi qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé. T'as mon bien de moi avec moi, en ce moment, on va battre au moins, mon temps d'hier, t'as mon mouillé, on s'est abattu pour moi, il pleure. Avec la locale.
Doing anything that people get to amend it. And with me from 2005 to date, we're all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me. I'll be re-elected. You understand? So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired peacefully and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion. And it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You understand? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Yao, abela lokeyo, bivito jobai, bivito noba, artiste mo peyo. Manager Gigi, ouais t'es jamais forcé ou, si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco Noska Yassin de Toyebi, l'homme a tout fait pour Mivito, Aniche les deux.
Henry, I can tell you the problem of this country with respect to prices, with respect to health, with respect to education, and largely tied to roads. There are no roads. You don't see opportunities where they should be when you don't have roads. From up to 173 years, we only have one road. How do you know what is happening in Bapolu when you don't have roads? You don't go there. The prices of goods, commodities on the market are high because to get them to where they are needed. So there's no way you can, when I talk about road, I'm not talking about putting road on the sidewalk in Monrovia, $50,000 road and make it $3 million. We're talking about roads that will open up the country. We're talking about roads that will open up opportunities, roads that will get businesses going, and dependency reduced because people believe their goods and commodities can get to the market. That's what we're talking about.
But we will prosecute and will confiscate assets that people steal and acquire by illicit means. I often say that in Liberia, when people get caught, they send their wife, they send their children, they send their relatives, whatever, to come and beg. I'm saying the Liberian people, don't come and beg. You know, don't come and tell me, oh, stand to help you get elected. He talk nice about you on the radio station. Now you're stealing, so forgive him. Stanley should have known when he was stealing that we're going to punish him. So there's going to be consequences. That's the first thing. Then we have to make sure we're paying people a living wage. So we did the arithmetic, we did the math in 2017 that when you look at policeman's salary or healthcare worker's salary or teacher's salary, by the middle of the month, the money finished. By the time they pay rent, they buy food, they pay the children tuition, and of course, they're not going to starve, right? So the policeman will pull you over, the teacher will accept bribe, they change grades.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIAN Public Radio. Thank you for joining us tonight. Madam Brooks, good evening. Welcome. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate that. Folks, we're on again tonight, and just bear with us here as we try to do some cleanup and stuff like that. So we are here tonight. Let's go ahead and do some house cleaning. Safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us together. Because of you, we are here, and we ask that because of you, we will be here tomorrow, and because of you, we will be here throughout. My Lord, thank you for your protection. Thank you for all that you have done and continue to do for us. My Lord, we ask you, the country of Liberia is in your hands. We ask that you protect the country of Liberia. Election is on hand, and my Lord, only through you that things are possible. And because of that, having us have recognized such thing, we're asking you, praying and begging to please protect the country, the Republic of Liberia. In the election process, we ask you to guide the people who are in charge, guide the leadership of the Republic of Liberia, guide the opposition leadership of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. My Lord, as we come out here tonight, I'm going to be hosting two young men, very highly intellectuals, and we ask you to guide that process as well. We ask, my Lord, to bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, Samson told LIBERIAN Public Radio, I'm still having little issue trying to get, I think maybe he's here now. All right. Folks, we do these things from time to time. And we have some conversation from time to time. But tonight's conversation is going to be very interesting. Two young men, very, very much capable of expressing themselves freely. There's no hindrance whatsoever in the way they express themselves. And we're happy to have them here this evening, my folks. We're very, very much happy to have them here this evening because we will have the conversation, even though that they are on different aisles, sitting on different sides of this street, but they intend, I believe, that they want this street to be paved with gold. Even though they're on a different side of the street, but they want the entire street to be paved with gold. And because of that, they are willing and ready to have the conversation with us. The Samson told, let me bring them on. But before that, let me just do this here very quickly. Give me 1 minute here.
Let's come together once more and work together once more. Let's come together once more and work together once more. Believe you, me, we will rise.
there you have it. There you have it. Let me bring these two gentlemen on who will be joining me here tonight. It's going to be a very, very interesting subject, conversation. And I want to thank them very much. First, let's bring in the young man, and let's bring another young man in here who are going to be joining me. And let me see if I can do much justice here. I know now you got to put like you got people got to see you farm ball. What you want to see the I mean, man, put light beyond there, big man. Put light on. You too farm ball for the people to not see you like that, big man. Put light on, put light in your face. Yeah, man. You were ugly at me. I say, okay, how you say? I don't mind that, but put the light in your face. Put the light on the table in your face. I say, wait.
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, folks, Samson told while we're waiting for Mr. Probra here, I have with me Terry Collins. Terry, thank you very much. While we're waiting for Aaron here, brother, who's gonna be joining here very shortly. I also want to thank you very much for even taking up your time to join us this evening. I hope that we will have a fruitful conversation with you and Mr. Brabler here. Thank you very much. In the meantime, folks, and while we're waiting for Mr. Brabler, folks, we do these things here, bringing these young men on, because the lives and the future of Liberia pretty much in your hands. And so when we have these conversations from time to time, these two gentlemen, they will call in. I'm sure it's not just like Liberia Public Radio, but they call into other shows to express their view because they believe in that. Not so much of being disrespectful or whatever, but they are expressing their view because they believe in that, and they all want this country to be to a certain position, and to have young people passionate about the country. It is something that is very energetic as far as I'm concerned. Why would you not want to be alive to have these young people to have conversation as such? It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yes. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I is you don't play. You thought I business. What cutter. I will pour barrel. I must say a barrel mail. I got barrel Jesse here. I'll come and put barrel Jesse on me right now. So Terry, just bear with us here while we try to set up. Okay, Era. Okay, I think Mr. Brother is ready. Let's see. All right, Era. Still, the ball cap is not doing you a favor. Or is. Here we go. You're fine, man. Why are you coming to wear cap and teeth? You think we're in Liberia? This is time to shine. President Weah says. Okay, folks. Terry, Era, I want to thank you guys on a very serious note. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, clear, very clear.
Aaron, can you hear me? No. Aaron, can you hear me? Okay. All right. So do play with your phone a little bit. I think you're muted or something.
He use earpiece. Do he have earbud?
No, I'm not too sure. Aaron, can you hear us? I know you're still there. Okay. All right. Okay. He'll be back. He will be back. So, folks, that's what we do. It's a live program. So, but let's just go on. Terry, how you been? How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm here, hanging out.
Okay, that's good. Good to know. Okay, let's try Aaron.
Yeah,
Aaron, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, clear, loud and clear. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys, both of you. Thank you very much for joining me on this program tonight. I really do appreciate you guys taking time to join. The reason why I invited both of you on here is to start with. Every time we come on air, Terry make comments, and then Aaron, you call, rebut his comment, but seem to be agitated most of the time of Terry's comment and what have you. But I thought to myself, I just don't want to leave it like that. This is not a debate. Let me put that out very quickly. This is not a debate, even though both of you are on different aisles, sitting in different positions. But I truly believe, as young as you are, and your constant engagement in the issues of Liberia, that means the future of Liberia is in good hands. I believe that both of you have the opportunity to serve on whatever leadership for the Republic of Liberia. I'm sure both of you will share notes and try to make sure things are done correctly. Now, the fact that both of you are supporting different candidates, I don't know that we'll find that out tonight. But I want this conversation to be about Liberia. I want this conversation to be about solution for the future of Liberia. So I hope that I will be able to stir whatever conversation that we're going to have. Please help me and help the audience to understand exactly which way we're going. And this is not a debate. In a debate, you point out, you did this, you did that, I can do this, it's something like that. But it's not about this. This is about finding solution. We know all of us, all Liberians, what I be president, we are term, what I be third midterm, Liberia have always had issue. But I want to find out from both of you, young, highly educated, intellectual, what are the solution from your perspective? Let's start with you, Terry. Go ahead and introduce yourself quickly so we can start the program.
Yeah, I'm Terry Collins, and I live in Minnesota, happily married with 2 kids.
Thank you. Thank you. I number 9. Let's go ahead. Well, folks, I will stop the I number 9 business. This is Aaron Bradley. I mean, I can't do the I number 9, not tonight. Go ahead, Mr. Bradley, please. Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Terry. It's nice to see your face. Finally.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Toll. My name is Aaron S. POLBEH Sr. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and happily married and have 4 kids.
I see. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Aaron, you also happen to be a soccer player, play for IE, but in the midfield. I just call you IE number 9 because that's what I do here. I give people titles very quickly. And of course, it's all in fun anyhow. And I appreciate the way you have handled me through our engagement, through the media process and what have you. Thank you very much. So you, Terry. Let me start with you, Aaron. Let's try to iron out the main reason of our meeting here tonight. Most of the time, Terry will make comments about whatever conversation we're having at that time, but you will come in and not this. It has not. You don't disrespect people. That we know that, but you will come in and try to push back, and sometimes you push back very strongly. What are some of the things that you believe in you that Terry is saying that usually agitate you to that point of coming in and don't even want to leave? What are some of the things you think?
Well, thank you, Mr. Toll. So, you see, I wasn't fully involved in politics a couple of years ago. I got involved probably from the beginning of this.
Your audio is not doing good. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but your voice was just very low.
Yeah. I had a call coming in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. Are you there? Aaron, are you with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, clear.
My Bluetooth is not connected.
No, but we're hearing you.
We are hearing you clear.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I got involved in politics probably a year and a half ago. The current president of Liberia is somebody who I call a friend and a big brother. I played soccer with him for about 6 or 7 years actively on the national team before coming to the States. And, sometimes when I listen to some of the assertion towards him, some of the things that, people say he's doing, he's not doing, things like that. I just feel like, the criticism is too hard. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe because of. Yeah, they're not
Go ahead.
hearing me.
We're listening.
Maybe because of his background, or, I can just pinpoint where the criticism is coming from. So, I'm on the show today just to list a couple of things that I know as a little boy growing up in Liberia or in Monrovia specifically, I didn't see. But with this president, with this leader, I'm seeing. So, I'm here, it's not like a debate, but to just, draw the contrary, tell Terry, this is what this man is doing, XYZ. What has your man done, to counter these things, for which you guys come and criticize him every day? That's what I'm here for.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Terry, you heard Aaron saying that he, when I'm just paraphrasing, from my understanding, is that many of us, because I'm one of those who criticize this president, is that many of us who criticize this president, not that we don't have reason, but perhaps he believed that we're going overboard. And not only going overboard, the fact that he knows this president, played with him for 6 years, and giving the kinds of description that we attribute to him, then he seemed to be baffled to say, this is not the man that I know. Can you hear me, Aaron? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. This is not the man that I know. And because of that, he seemed to be agitated most of the time. And I'm very careful the word that I use, agitated here, agitating. I'm very careful with that. Not in a negative fashion. But let's just leave it as that. And so he believed that perhaps he need to educate us about President Weah, and not only things that he has done, but as a human being, that sometimes we're not giving him fair due, and that's why he think we need to have us straighten up. What exactly? Why? First of all, why you think that Aaron will be agitated if you are criticizing your president of the Republic of Liberia?
Thank you very much. I think Aaron is somehow leaning towards friendship rather than leaning towards patriotism, because from his own explanation, tells me that he's basing his analogy about President Weah on the foundation of the relationship they have as to being the president of the Republic of Liberia. All right. So I think that is a default from my perspective.
So, but let me push back on that. They are friends, and it seemed to me Aaron valued their friendship highly. And will you fault Aaron if he's not able to separate the friendship from that of the position President Weah is in currently? How will you try to disabuse him on that? Let me put it this way.
Well, in my opinion, he's not wrong from his own perspective of how he sees President Weah. But again, from the perspective, the broader spectrum of looking at Liberia as a country, then he will be slightly wrong from my perspective, again, from another dimension. Because you have to be able to differentiate your relationship with President Weah when you were playing soccer with him as compared to him now being your president. Like I always tell people, I say, I love Leo Messi very much. He's my player. But the day Leo Messi become my president, he's no more, I'm not looking at him anymore as my soccer best star. He's now responsible for my food. He's now responsible to feed me. So if he fails to do that, I'm going to go at him for that. You know, so we got to understand that President Weah being a soccer player is different from President Weah being the president of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, so Aaron, let's bring you in here, and then we will take another route. I'm not going to dwell on this much because if we do, then I think the debate here will not do us the favor if we stick with that, because you have the right to hold your relationship with President Weah to that level. Because I mean, I play football, and football playing is emotional, and people you play with, they bring pleasure. The way you interact with them, it put you to a different level. So perhaps you are still not able to graduate from that, which I'm not going to blame you. But let me ask you this, Aaron. The fact that President Weah is president of the Republic of Liberia, father of the land, you think we the plebeians, we the children, and I consider myself children now because I am talking about the father of the land, even though I'm older than him, but I would say children. Do you think we shouldn't come out criticizing, or our level of criticism is what you're concerned with?
Your level, the level of criticism. Like I said, when I introduced myself, I made mention of the friendship just for you guys to know how close I am to the president when it comes to friendship, not like saying he became president. But when you're making fair accusation or fair criticism, we will accept that. There's no human being perfect. Okay? No human being perfect. But when you come up with criticism that, let's say, for example, when opposition leaders go out and say the president was a former world best soccer player, but he's not doing nothing for soccer. Based on what you say, that what has he done, or what has he? I mean, what did he not do to soccer for you to say that? Those are the things I push back on. Those are the reason why every time, if you notice, every time Terry call, I call right behind Terry, and every time I call Terry, call right behind me, because some of the exceptions he be making, you know, they are not fair. They are not fair exceptions. So yeah, those are the reason why I'm pushing back.
Okay, Terry, one last one on this, then we can move on. He's very adamant in his argument here tonight, which this is holding from that human relationship, because he lived it. He was there. He saw the main engagement in terms of soccer and what he has done for this country. And for me, someone who has never even played with him, who never met him in my life, and I come out here every day and say the man has done nothing for soccer and what have you. Someone like Aaron, who has seen it, who has seen this man use his own personal wealth to put Liberia in terms of soccer, whatever that he did. And so he think our level of criticism in not just soccer, but our level of criticism towards the president perhaps is just too harsh. Do you think is that something we should try to moderate and try to criticize less, so that the like of Aaron and the other who are also having to be our friends will not take this thing on the other side? Or this is politics and it doesn't matter?
Well, it's not just politics, but if we decide to side with Aaron's judgment on the foundation of a personal relationship with President Weah.
Your voice is low.
Oh,
you gotta speak. Yeah, get close up. Yeah, we go. Go ahead.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, much better.
So if we decide to side with Brother Aaron on the basis of his personal relationship with President Weah, then I think we will be doing the Liberian people injustice. We will be unjust to the Liberian people and to ourselves. And we must understand that we are not criticizing. I don't like to use the word criticism or criticizing President Weah. Because when you're criticizing somebody, I don't also like to use the word opposition, because an opposition continue to remain to be opposition even if they see what is right. All right. But I like to use the word, highlighting some errors that is being made to the detriment of the citizens. We must be able to highlight these mistakes vehemently for the president to be aware of these things so that he can take the reputable actions to solving them. That's the reason why we speak against these things, not for ourselves, but for the benefit of our people. I agree that Aaron have a soft spot for President Weah because of the friendship. But let Aaron tell us what have President Weah done in the era of soccer, as he just claimed. Knowing President Weah as President Weah that went to Liberia during the war and played soccer with Liberia and carried Liberia to that extent is different from the President Weah that we know that is right now in the marshal. Because myself, I question in myself. Is this President Weah that we used to be claiming over the fence to go watch playing soccer here in Silencer Diba, for Liberia? Is this the guy, that is our president and don't even care much for the fee, the era that already promoted him? Under President Samuel Kanyado, I myself is shocked. But again, power is different from, talent or gift. When one is given power to lead an entire country, that's a different ballgame. So I think that era, President Weah is struggling in that era. And I don't hate him. I like him. He's my president, and not only that, he's a soccer star that put Liberia to be #1 in Africa. There is no way I will ever hate him. All right, that is why I don't like to use the word criticism. But it is very important that we must make President Weah to understand that he is performing poorly.
Okay. Aaron, help us out. I think this is the perfect time here for you to now enumerate some of the things. Let's just focus in the soccer because you know soccer and you know soccer real well. So what are some of the things that perhaps you would list here for us tonight positively that are things that you would like for Liberians to know, and so that if people like Samson told with his big mouth criticizing President Weah on the line of soccer, that the people say, but wait a minute, this young man told us the other day, and these are the facts. What are some of the things can you list for us here that President Weah has done since becoming president of the Republic of Liberia? Or even if you can go back to his day of soccer days anyway.
So, thank you, Mr. Toe. I just don't want the conversation to just dwell on soccer because, yeah. So I'm gonna elaborate a little bit about things that I know he did for soccer before he became president and what he's doing now for soccer in Liberia. So, as we know, we came from a 14-year civil war. We all know that. And 1996, during the April 6th, I don't know what I'm correct, whether it was 96 or 1993. Liberia, this is what I'm telling you now before he became president. So when people say that he's not doing nothing for soccer, I mean, I kind of question that, because if this man would do things for soccer, for a country, before becoming president, why would he not do it now? So it was during the April 6th, and we were in a competition. The government at the time, it was interim government, they wanted to withdraw from the competition. He personally called from Europe at the Ministry of Youth and Sport and told the minister, said, no, we cannot withdraw from the tournament. Okay, I will facilitate the team, to come to camp in Abidjan, and we will honor our games and stuff like that. So he did that. I was on the bus from Monrovia. We passed through Locator. We passed Mount Bagley. And this, I'm telling you, we had two Liberia at the time. We had Greater Liberia and Monrovia. Okay, we passed Manbackley, we passed Ganta. It was my first time going Buto. It was my first time seeing, fighters of MPFL. I mean, I'm not trying to use it, stuff like that. But we went through all of that, and we finally got to Dananle. Okay, we slept in Dananle one night, and we took a bus. We went to Abidjan, and upon came the team. He facilitated the team to leave from Abidjan. He was not in Abidjan. We were there training. You were in Europe playing. So he came to Gambia. We were going to Gambia at the time, Banjul. We went to Banjul. We played. It was like a preliminary round to put us in a grouping stand. He facilitated that. We went to Gambia. We played. We came back. At the time, we were using Ghana as our home. We played in Ghana, and we qualified to get in the group stage. Back then, things they had signed, the peace agreement, things were getting better in Monrovia. But mind you, all this time I'm talking about, the entire national team were in Abidjan at Benjavi. There's an electrical college in Abidjan. It's located in this area called Benjavi. Ask anybody who knows that. We were there for almost 3 or 4 months while things were not being, right in Monrovia. When things got right, finally, we flew back to Monrovia and we were able to take part in the competition. So when people come out and talk about petty stuff like, he's president and they close the field down, why he plays soccer, why they close the field down and stuff like that. They don't even know President Weah participation.
So what can you tell about that?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, first of all, the closure of the field. People should understand that there was a previous government in power and money was being allocated every year for that stadium to be repaired. Okay? And I don't know whether they did anything or not, but I think they didn't. That's why the stadium was closed down. Okay? The stadium should have been up to standards. Okay? How can you get a soccer field? There's no water and stuff like that. And like I told you guys on the platform the last time, he's president of the country now. He got ministers in different areas who are in charge to do stuff. Okay, people may go wrong. People may, make mistakes. People may forget things. You can jump out and say, "Oh, the president," and just put everything to the feet of the president. You can do that. And those are the comments they were making. And even up to that time, when FIFA should have closed the field down the first time. When FIFA came to close for the closure of the field, he intervened as a FIFA or executive committee member. He intervened. When he intervened, they said, "Okay, we will give you this time." Usually, when they close a field down, they don't open it that early, but they gave it because of his intervention. They gave us shorter time. If they gave us shorter time and list of things that they wanted us to do. Necessity, things that were really needed for a game to be played on the soccer facility. So he said, yes, we will do that. And money was made available and it was done. The minister carried that out. And I think you guys saw a picture of, the day-to-day work on the field, maintenance were going on and things like that. The bathroom, having hot shower and all this stuff. Every one of them was done. It was because of his intervention.
Okay. Can you, before I bring in Terry, can you tell us, besides soccer, where are some of the things that you want to talk about what this president has done? Then I can bring Terry in, and perhaps Terry might agree with you or disagree with you.
Well, let's take a little look at our history. Okay, like I said, I came to this country at the age of 22. So I lived all my life in Liberia, like a grown-up boy going from one place to another place and stuff like that. So I saw what happened in Liberia. So let's talk about education. A lot of time I hear people complain that, oh, the president, he went on on the stage doing inauguration and said Liberian would not be or spectator in their own home and stuff like that. Yes, he made that comment. I agree with that. But by him making those comments or made that comment doesn't mean that things are going to happen right away. Okay? This process. So let's look at some of the things that the president did to empower our people in Liberia. Let's take for typical example. My mom, your mom, those are the marketeers in Monrovia. Those are the people who sell on the street. We bought kiss meat. We bought chicken feet on the floor. Do you think it look decent? Do you think it's not a health hazard for people to be selling their food on the floor outside in the rain with umbrella over there? He started constructing marketplaces. Who going to sell in the marketplaces? They're all Liberians. Even if foreigners are in the marketplaces, they will not be more than the Liberian. It's my mother, your sister, your relative selling kids meat, selling pig feet. So those are some of the empowerment that he did. Those are some of the things he meant. Now, everything is now done. I'm not saying everything is okay. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I just want Liberians to understand, I want Terry to understand, if somebody's making progress or if somebody would do something, you can tell from the beginning.
Okay. All right. Let me bring in Terry in. Terry, I think you heard a lot. He started talking about the days before he became president. His intervention caused Liberia to be qualified at the time. And President Weah was very much responsible for the Liberian soccer team for over 2 months training and preparing themselves. He did not hesitate to spend his own hard-earned money on the country national team. And when he became president, the fee that everyone was talking about, that fee was what the previous government most likely neglected to take care of the fee. And because of that, the stadium became a problem where FIFA had to step in and close it. But because of his involvement as well as being part of the executive committee for FIFA, and I think because of that, he's saying that they give them enough time, but a quicker turnaround time where President Weah and his people were able to spend the money and fix it. Now the field is there. Terry, I also am quite aware of what he just talked about here. But why do we continue to criticize in that light as though he has done completely nothing?
Well, like we've been saying, that not that he has done nothing, but on the ratio, on the average, if you were supposed to score 60 and you score 10%, you have almost done nothing. So it's like he himself said it, right? You are former soccer player that became the first African player to win the world best. And the Liberian people saw how well, like what he explained about President Weah's previous, contribution to the team. Myself, I admitted that he did very well. His previous contribution to the team before he became president. All right. We are not seeing that with President Weah being president wherein he's supposed to do more. Under President Weah, you cannot have FIFA closing the stadium down when you are a soccer player that everybody in Africa, you dominated all soccer players in Africa to become world best. That up to now, nobody has broken that record in Africa. And under your watch, FIFA closed the stadium down. Then you blame the alien government? That is irresponsibility.
So let me push back. Hold on, Aaron. We'll bring you in. Let me push back a little bit on that, Terry. A point well taken. But he is not president of Liberian Football Association. He's president for the Republic of Liberia.
That one makes it bad.
Well, I understand that. remember too now that Liberia is not so much of a rich country. Most of the money we get, they go out and beg for them, and people feel sorry for us. So perhaps Aaron told us that he has instead, I would think, that besides putting the money in the soccer, he's also building markets building for our moms, our sisters, and other people to go and sell instead of selling in the street on the ground. So perhaps he decided to prioritize the money to that of the market instead of the soccer field. Knowing fully what that, yes, I am former world best, but at this time I'm not the president of the Liberian Football Association. I'm president of the Republic of Liberia. And based on those who he assigned, perhaps they came back to him and said, these are the priorities that we need to spend the money on. Now, Terry, are you saying then that perhaps he says, no, we're not going to build a market. Let's do the football field right? Is that what you're suggesting?
That is not what I'm just suggesting.
Okay.
Every government entity has this ability to generate money on their own expense to take care of their responsibility. Under Ellen government, why the soccer stadium did not close down? Ellen is not a soccer. She was not a soccer person. She was not a soccer star. But under President Weah government, the soccer stadium closed down. When you come to the market, there are monies in the budget that is responsible for that. And I surely believe that there are monies generated also that's responsible, that's supposed to have taken care of that particular soccer stadium. Every part of government is able to work efficiently on her own. All right? And you being the president, you only need to take responsibility and make people to do the job. That is one of the major priorities you have, which is, to me, in my opinion, is very simple. Knowing very well that you are a former athlete, all right? You cannot be having the stadium closing down. Take, for example, President Weah was able to build his condominiums within 6 months, all right? But he was not able to fix the stadium enough within time, because you must understand that FIFA will give you time. They will tell you the condition of the stadium long ahead of time. So all those informations were already there. It's not something that to say it came abruptly. No, it was long ahead of time given to the government, and they had to prepare. They had enough time to prepare to address that issue. But again, it shows the level of incompetency, all right? And that is where I'm speaking from. I'm not saying that President Weah, all right, is a bad president, but is a bad person in nature. I am saying his inability to run the country as a president is very, very little. He has the ability to make people do the job. If you don't do your job, you get fired. I'm not saying that he stole the money. I'm saying he's supposed to make people to do the job and make sure that your budget have increased. What is the budget for that particular, what is the budget, all right, that's supposed to go to this particular stadium for the period of time? What happened to that money? What did he do? All right, what did the ministry do that is responsible to handle the stadium with the money? What happened to that money? Will you tell me that there was no money at all in the budget for the stadium to make sure that the stadium is properly fixed in time for the players to play? Is that what you're trying to tell me? So because there was no money, the country had to wait to generate money to cover up, like D-O cover O. So you can't run a government.
So let me ask you now, before I go back to Aaron here, what are some of the things that perhaps if you have the ears of the president and you have a connection with the president, what are some of the things you would suggest that the president need to pay attention to, and some of the things that you believe if he does those things that will move Liberia and Liberians forward?
Well, there are three major things that I believe a president we are focused on. A government will be one of the greatest government in the history of Liberia. The first major thing President Weah should have focused on when he came to power, that he said he was going to do from his own statement, was roads. If President Weah had focused on roads and dealt with major highway roads. But now we won't be talking this thing. The second thing President Weah should have addressed was agriculture. If President Weah had dealt with agriculture, even a little bit, because 6 years is small. Let me just tell you, 6 years is not sufficient enough for the government, like President Weah government, to do everything that the people want him to do. But one of the major reasons why President Weah is having problems is because of corruption. He allowed the people to see the corruption in the government, and he's not dealing with it.
Give us an
All
example.
right?
Give us an example, please.
Example: the 25 million, the $21 million that Samuel 12 said he gave to money changers. All right, it don't make sense. Even international investigators said that there was discrepancy. All right, in the report.
Hold on, Aaron. We'll come to you. Aaron, we will come to you.
No. Can he give?
Aaron, we'll come to you. Just be patient. Take notes. Go ahead, Terry. Go ahead, please.
You know, these are instances, all right, and many other things, many other discrepancies, the COVID-19 money, you know, all kinds of stuff going on in the country. So you know, yeah, go ahead.
So who are you supporting in this whole realm here? Let's establish. I think we should have established that before, unless you say you're neutral.
No, I'm not.
Okay, who are you supporting?
But like I wanted to say something before I say that, right?
Okay, go ahead.
The three major things was number one, roads. And President Weah have dealt with roads sufficiently that how people call him the how you call it, bar road medicine. That alone will have sent an alarm, a wave that no one was going to make it with him. But every time, even your total road, you always post it on social media. Look at the road. Look at the road going to all these places. And the second is agriculture. The third is corruption. Let me tell you, if President Weah, what he started with Ellison, if he had continued and kept that man in prison and dealt with some other people in government when he came to power, I'm telling you right now, President Weah will not need to campaign.
Okay, Aaron's scratching your head big time now. So please,
what I'm telling you is this. What I'm telling you, for me, I support.
Who is he supporting though? You need to say that.
Yeah, he's coming to that.
Go ahead. I'm not afraid.
Okay.
I support JMB for one simple reason. All right. You see, Joseph Yeman Boyka, I think the Liberian people made a mistake by voting President Weah instead of JMB. I think the both of them have similarities. JMB and President Weah got some level of similarities, but they are not the same in totality. All right. President Weah got a lot of experience when it comes to soccer. JMB got a lot of experience when it comes to government. All right. But when it comes to maybe some level of personality, the both of them have some similarity. I think President Weah said talk about, hey, Joseph the sleeper and Joseph the dreamer. You understand? So there probably some correlation between the two. But the reason why I support JMB is because JMB have a position. He have an agenda on agriculture. I believe he have an agenda on roads. I believe that agriculture is Liberia's problem. And in order for you to be able to be a successful economy, like Liberian economy, when it comes to agriculture, you have to have the roads to bring the food to the town for the people to buy.
All right. Okay. Just hold on to your thought. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron, you I hope you jog down a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Terry just make me laugh just now.
Yeah, I hope you jog down a lot of stuff. So I don't want to repeat, but just briefly give us your assessments of Terry own lengthy of thing he believed President Weah should have done, and even make a rebuttal to your own assessment of President Weah things that he has done.
Okay. Terry mentioned three things here that he would have expected the president to do, right? And that were going to make the president his president, or that we're going to make the president somebody who he was going to support. He talked about role. Since 1847, The road from Monrovia to Ganta never passed Ganta. And you know that. Since 1847, the pavement from Monrovia to Ganta never passed Ganta. The 12 years of VP, former VP Joseph Nyimambuaka, the pavement stopped right in Ganta. Now, President Weah took office in 2018. Let's remember, when we got in 2019, we had a global crisis that interrupted the entire world. But today, I can tell you it's a fact. You can check it out. The road from Ganta to Saclay is about 95% completion. The road finally, 175 years, the road finally passed Ganta now to Saclay. Okay? Saclay to Tapetan. The project is on the way. Money has already been secured. That project is on the way. Mr. Toh, you are an engineer, okay? Take a look at Liberian soil, especially, the hinterland, the countryside. Tell me, how long it would take road construction, with the way our roads, our soil low, okay? How long it would take a government to connect the entire hinterland? What I'm saying here is this. Look, do you want somebody who say, I will do it? Or do you want somebody who can tell you, say, oh, you want 5 capybaras? Okay, you have 1, I will bring you 4 more. Who you want to believe? The person who already gave you 1 capybara. Am I lying? Those are the things I want for Liberian to understand today. Those are the things I want for Terry to understand today. This man is showing action of doing stuff. What has Joseph Nyimambuaka done? Let's forget about the 12 years. Let's forget about the 12 years in government. Yes, a man, I respect Nyimambuaka. Trust me, it's a statement. I respect him. A man who got in government, if I'm not mistaken, around in the 70s, 73, 74, 75. I don't know the actual year. And up till the day he became vice president, there's nothing. This is a man who's been taking civil service, who's been taking Liberian taxpayer money for 40 some more years. And up to today, there's nothing he can show to say, this is what I did when I was agriculture minister. This is what I did when I was managing director at FPRC. This is what I did when I was FPNC managing director. I come to him becoming vice president. What can he point to? I'm simply trying to tell Terry, we don't have to listen to Terry. President Weah is running on his record. And when we go out there to talk, to campaign, we will tell them, say, you can see the road, right? It passed Ganta now, right? After 175 years, right? So to tell you that we'll carry the road over there, right? People say, yes, we can see the road. You understand what I'm saying? So we want somebody who is doing something. The people, I was saying back home, say, when your Christmas will be good, you're not from the Eve. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Now, here is what I'm going to do for both of you here. First of all, I really appreciate the spirited engagement. I'm not calling it a debate, but you guys are making your case, and that's the route we're going to take now. But before that, let me do this here. I think Aaron made reference to me as an engineer, which is true. I'm the best LIBERIAN engineer ever have in the whole world. And I was this guy know the best president ever. Myself, the best. No, I'm just kidding. Look, the issue here with the role, I do know the role situation. First, you need to do an assessment. And then after, there's so many components of building one role. There's so many stuff involved. And if you don't do all of those components, if they are not done correctly, you have what we have right now with the Ralphie Highway. So road building is not something that can happen, especially a route like Monrovia to Sino Road. It's not something that's going to happen within even the next 6 years. It's not going to happen. It takes a lot. And so I understand Iran and the president and everybody else argument. But let me go on to Ambassador Bakai. Ambassador Bakai, people say, what has he done? As we speak, I have my niece in the house right now doing my daughter hair. She's handicapped. Ambassador Bakai was able to take many war victim, young war victim, handicapped, amputees, and would sponsor them to come to the United States until he left office. Sponsor them to come to the United States to try to fit them with prosthetics. These people, they will go back. And when you grow, because they're kids, and so when you grow out of the prosthetics that is set for you, he will send you back. And then they had an agreement with the hospital in New York area, and they would try to refit them. He does those things for Liberians. So I'm just putting that out there because it would be wrong for me to sit on it, knowing fully well what he has done that I'm aware of, to sit on it and not mention it. I'm not trying to run campaign here. But let me go back to you, Aaron. Let me go back to you before I bring in Terry here. Do you think all that President Weah has done, what are criticizing or what have you, forget all of those, but from your own perspective, do you truly believe that President Weah deserves six more years?
Absolutely, most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay, so if he deserves 6 more years, as you're saying, why you think your own brothers and sisters, Liberians, so many of them, are claiming for his unseating, that he must be unseated? Why these people? You think that there's certain things that you, Aaron, and many of you see that other people like myself don't see?
Mr. Toll, let me tell you, the UPNs, I'm calling them that. The UPNs, they know how to run propaganda. Let me be frank with you. Okay? Let me be frank with you. Look, Mr. Toll, I can give you a list of things. We're just talking about role. That's why I talk about role. These are things that we never saw in Liberia before. Let me tell you something. The other day, Terry was on the phone talking about, the drugs proliferation in the country and things like that. President Weah is not doing nothing about it. I can remember, Terry, correct me if I'm wrong. In this America, do you see the government or the governor of states go out and start picking drugs from the street? No, they empower communities. How you empower communities? By creating recreation centers, recreation programs for children, after school program for children. What do you think all the recreation parks that President Weah is building are for? Because when the children come from school or when the young people get places to play, it takes their mind from these things. There's a list of things I can go, if you give me the time, there's a list of things that President Weah has initiated, rather. And, in the long run, we're going to benefit from it. Mind you, this man only been in office for 3 years.
3 years?
COVID took 2 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Why you said
COVID
3
took
years?
2 years. It's not 20.
You're acting like Grand Union Association or some
No.
organization or something because of
No.
the pandemic. I need to go.
No.
Okay.
No, Mr. Toll.
That is the solution for you.
Remember the famous speech line from President Obama?
We're listening.
Yeah, remember the famous speech line from President Obama?
Right.
Okay. He said, change. And he said, hope for change. He said, I'm not saying we're not going to get there, but we're going to get there. You understand what I'm saying? So people saw, look, this is why people re-elect presidents from their past record. And all I'm saying is, with a list of things that I researched, from the time you told me that we were coming on this show. The last time I was in Liberia was 2011. That's 13 years ago. I mean, 12 years ago. It's a long time.
Okay, the list you have, can you name 5 important ones? Just you don't have to explain it. Just name them.
Okay.
This, and then I can bring Terry in.
All right. Today, because of President Weah, the major gateway to Liberian economy, the Freeport, we got a modern headquarters. I know the United Party people will say they don't want to secure the money.
Just give me one list. That's one. What's the other one?
Okay. Number 2, we heard about people that won in Boto. We didn't see them play. I heard about somebody Samson too. I didn't see him play. Today we have a modern museum in Liberia to recollect our history when it comes to sports, and not only soccer. Everybody that plays sports in Liberia, whether it's basketball, kickball, or baseball, will be put in that museum once we can find your photo. Today we have it in Liberia. That's 2.
Okay.
3. Today we got a hospital in Bapolu, a brand new hospital in Bapolu. We got a 14 military hospital. These are things that are there, Mr.
Okay,
You know that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We got a 14 military hospital.
Okay,
We got a new embassy hospital. We got our ground will be breaking pretty soon in your county. Our Grand Gita County for a new hospital there.
Okay. What's the fourth and fifth one?
Okay. I thought I named about 4 already.
Okay, 4. What's the 5th one?
The 5th one is the famous thing that we always talk about: education. Because of President, we have free public school education policy. Over 27,000 Liberians.
You'll see your bow. Why the man talking?
Over 27,000 Liberians.
You're texting. You'll see this in your bow. Why the man talking? You're texting him. Where he's okay. No, on a very serious. Okay, that's your 5th one. On a very serious.
Yeah, that's the 5th one. And I think I'm more if you want.
Those are those are all tangible, and those are things that we all can see and we know they're there. Terry, give us. He just gave us 5 things that they and there are more. But you just give us 5 here. First question is, why do you think President Weah does not deserve another 6 years, Terry?
Simple, corruption. Now you see.
So hold on. You just give me corruption without even missing a beat. So if the president was to talk to you and say, Terry, I promise that the corruption issue will be addressed. Not necessarily resolved, but will be addressed under my next 6 year administration. Will you accept that?
I will accept it under one condition.
What is it?
Fire Samuel 12.
Now you can go up and go. That is man piggy. You will not fire him. What you?
But he's not doing a bad job. Why would you fire somebody who's not doing a bad job?
Anyhow, let's take it serious. You know, I put 4 in these things, but let's take it serious. Why you think President Weah does not? You said corruption. Is there any other reason why you don't think that he deserves extra 6 years?
Well, there are many reasons why I think he don't deserve 6 years, but the major reason, because every president struggle, but the major reason is the inability to at least curtail corruption to a minimum rate, because that was the expectation of Liberians. We're not saying you building hospital, you build it. Every president did something. I listened to my brother, he's talking about the president. Every president did the first time did some portion of roads in Liberia. So for President, we are taking the road from Ganta, this place to Saclay. It's not strange. That's what presidents supposed to do. That's what leaders supposed to do. But take for example, look at the road that leads from the major airport in the country all the way. Look at how long that road has lingered for. All right, knowing very well that the money was made available. But the reason the road is not complete is because of corruption. The reason why Liberians are struggling is because of corruption. Every president have done something. You talk about Joseph Boakai have not done anything. First of all, being a minister in the government, how much do you make? All right. And during that time, Samuel Kanya time, which happens to be one of the best leadership of Liberia that we normally call normal time. Lofa County was the bread basket for Liberia. People say the man have not done nothing. You expected a man to steal before you know that he done something? For somebody to give the service to a country for that amount of years and under successful leadership of government, it means he did something. That is why that government was successful. That is why today Samuel Kanyado, his face is on the $50 bill. Then JMB worked with a government 12 years leadership under Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and you can see the administrative complex. You see a new airport, the new airport that was reconditioned under Madam Sirleaf, even though it was 12 years, but within her first 6 years, there were a lot of things that were transformed. She took a country that was in darkness, completely destroyed from the war. She brought that country from 800 million to 500 million. People say, well, she had the United Nations, the international. That is what presidents do. They lobby, they hustle for connection, international connection. Those are some of the things that President Weah does not have. If you get in an airplane and fly to a country and come back and bring nothing to the country, then why did you fly? Why did you leave in the first place? Okay, let's agree. All of that, I don't have problem.
But Terry, though, let me push back on. You can't tell me the president has not been bringing money in. I mean, we heard the FedMonth. Hold on, Terry. We heard the FedMonth's leak audio from Monuba Monu, who also admitted the president brings money in.
Now you want to spoil it. Now you want to put Tabata.
No, I'm just, we're not going to touch Monuba Monu, please.
I favor that. For me, I favor that, but I don't know if our man will understand where you're going. But anyway, you go ahead.
I don't have problem with that.
Aaron, go ahead.
Look, Terry. People with level allegations.
I'm having fun here. Hold on, Aaron. I'm having fun with my two little brother here this afternoon. But a very serious conversation is happening. Aaron is believing that President Weah deserved a second term, and he has listed some of the tangible here this evening. And Terry, on the other hand, is saying that the president does not deserve the second term because of corruption. And I'm asking why, if the president were to come in and ask you what are some of the things he said, quite frankly, he wants Samuel Tuah gone. Taking Samuel Tuah out of the government is not something President Weah, because not only are they friends, but Samuel Tuah also helps immensely to stabilize the issue of economy in our country. I'm not an economist, according to them. Yeah, Terry,
Mr. Toh, let me ask you a question. When the last time you were back home?
About 4 months ago. 4
months ago. All right. There's a presidential candidate by the name of I think Robert Morris, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected. He used to be the airport director on former President Sirleaf, right? He was on the spoon talk. No, not the spoon talk, the closing argument. And he said $80 million, and I quote, $80 million was spent on that airport. Do you, as an engineer, believe that the current Rawa International Airport, $80 million was spent to build that or renovate that?
I won't know it for sure because materials, purchasing power, materials, where they're coming from, the type of material that was used on that building, where did they get it from? And the transportation process, there's so much involved in estimating, and there's so much involved in bringing in material in Liberia, material which of course we do not make. So it's you know, but I'm not going to sit here and say
so Mr. Toh,
but go ahead.
So Mr. Toh, you're going to spend $80 million on an airport without no VIP lounge? It had to take President Weah. It had to take President Weah to build a VIP lounge to the airport. $80 million, Mr. Toh, in Monrovia, in Liberia, on an airport. and Ralphie still looks like that.
Okay.
You know, and
So
my
can
brother
I say
Terry
something
sitting
to
here,
that?
talking about
So can I
corruption.
say something to that?
Yeah.
And,
Terry, let
and the
him
man,
finish.
he supports work in the government that was classified as the most corrupt government that Liberia have ever seen. 68 broker agreements. Okay? Today that we're trying to go back and renegotiate all these deals. They're talking about coming to rescue the country. We're fixing what is damaged. What are trying to rescue? The same thing that is damaged? No, let me tell you something, Mr. Toll. Look. He's talking about the incompetency of President Weah. I don't know where he's coming from with that word, but when we're talking about incompetence, I would classify Honorable Barker to be incompetent. Or 12 years, you held the second highest lane in the office, and you don't even have $1,000 to even put to your own campaign. You don't even have a pension. You don't even have no insurance.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay, let me bring Terry in. You said a lot. Terry, I don't need to rehash it. Go ahead.
That's gossip. You say the man who have money, how the man building the big boat? How he doing what he doing? So that thing to do later, that gossip, that cheap gossip, that propaganda.
Okay, Terry, Aaron, let Terry speak, please. Let's go ahead.
You know,
Go ahead,
Terry.
Terry.
Talk about 80 million. You say the country, I mean, the government of Madam Sally was corrupt, right? And how did they use 80 million on that place? First of all, you're not an engineer. You don't know nothing about construction.
Exactly, but I can see. But wait, hold on.
Let him speak. Hold on, guys. We have a rule.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Speaking, we're gonna have to.
Terry, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Terry.
Terry, go ahead.
Engineering is a technical work. You don't stand up on outside the building and say, "Oh, I see. This is not 80 million." No, because there are some equipment, there are some material in the building that the price, you don't know the prices for it. All right. So you got to understand that you have to have a data, you have to do an audit in order for you to derive to some level of finding that will determine that that particular 80 million was not spent properly. And you have not done that. But you're accusing the any government of that. Okay, even if they stole the money, why you can persecute them? Why your government can persecute them? Why your government refused to take them through the process to audit the previous government and prosecute them? That's why I told you from the beginning. Mr. To asked a beautiful question. Why should President Weah not go back? Because of corruption. Because if President Weah would have audited the previous government and locked some people up, but now the whole entire country will be for President Weah. He don't even have to do much. And let me tell you something about something you said. I hope I don't lose track of that. But you see, President Weah had the opportunity to his disposal for 6 years. Now, when we talk about incompetence, the inability to even speak to your people when things go wrong, President Weah does not have the guts to do that. That is very important. Like, okay, my thought came back. The reason why I said that President Weah need to fire Samuel Twe is because Samuel Twe have been the source of a lot of corruption. He has been the source. Now, I'm not saying he is corrupt, but the inability to manage state funds in the distribution of the money to various ministries and all of that shows some level of corruption, that your finance minister, he's not properly doing his job the right way. So in order to make sure that the job is well done, if the man is not doing the job properly, you fire him. Look at what Samuel Twe did. He went and said 27 million people were emancipated from poverty. If our president, we are fire him the very same day, he made a statement that everybody know in the country is not true. Why? Because that could be used as a propaganda for the opposition to use against President
So
Weah.
is that what you call corruption?
Lose the election.
Aaron, we're gonna have to let the man speak. Go ahead, Terry. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, I laid a foundation for you ever since. I told you, I said the first, the 21 million map of exercise done by Samuel Twe was one of Samuel Twe's greatest mistakes that I felt within myself, President Weah should have fired him. And if President Weah did not fire him, it shows incompetency. That's what I told you earlier on. And you know, these are things.
So can I push back?
We got to make some correction. I will bring you in, Terry.
Okay.
I will bring you in, Aaron. So Terry, let me ask you this, and then I can bring Aaron in here. You have listed a lot for which you don't believe President Weah deserves second term. Fair point. In this 5+ year, Aaron won 3 years because of the pandemic, which we're not going to give him that because the Constitution does not allow you to throw 2 years away. So we're not going to give you that. But in this 5+ years, Terry, and you seem to be someone who have the ability to observe. You seem to be someone who have the ability to notice and identify positive and negative in terms of developmental agenda and what have you.
Thank you.
You want to say that from your ability to identify good or bad for our people in this 5+ years, President Weah have served. President Weah have done nothing whatsoever that you can put out there today to say President Weah did this. 5 things that you can put out that President Weah did positively. Nothing.
No, I think President Weah have done some very important things. For example, the paying of wire school fees is very significant. I will give him that. All right, because we struggle a lot for that, and I will give it to him. And even if JMB become president, I think that is one of the initiatives that JMB need to borrow from President Weah, that he need to carry out, because it's very important. I also think that the road that he fixed, you know, Saclapie Road that my brother earlier talked about, is also good. This is what president's supposed to do. All right, it's a good thing. President Weah have done something. The hospital, the construction of these hospitals, people say, you know, there are no doctors, there is no nurses. Well, it's true, but the structure, once the structure is there, in time, over period of years, you know, with other government and things, they can do all that. All right, because you need doctors. We lack doctors. So in order to get doctors, they gotta go to school. You know, but I think President Weah have done some things. But I do not think that what he have done qualifies him to be re-elected. That's my position. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. We said a lot. And you wanted to push back very strongly, and then was pushing to push back, and we were pushing to push back. Now the opportunity is there. How much pushing you gonna do here tonight?
So first of all, let me correct my brother. There was no $21 million put in the economy. It was $25 million map out. So the map up process that went on.
Terry, let him speak. Let him speak.
No, I said thank you for the correction.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the map up process that went on when you remember Crow came to Liberia. Crow is a investigation firm, you know, monetary investigation firm. That's going to be corrected. They came to Liberia, right? This is an international group, okay? They came to Liberia and said the only thing that Crow wanted to report was the processes in which the MAPA money went out were not right. But nobody stole any money. The money was infused into the economy. So when my brother come here and say the president should fire Samuel Twe, why you want? You see, that's the thing they do. They always want for President Weah to fire people because they say fire the person. Why? Give a reason why you want this person to be fired. You cannot give a reason. You're talking about President Weah ain't doing enough. You had a candidate who's running on 12 years as a vice president with nothing to show. Nothing to show. His office was required to be audited. He refused to consent to the audit. The vice president office is a public record. You know, and then when I say this man, so you won't tell me, for a common man like me, I work in America, I save money. You won't tell me the vice president didn't save money for tomorrow? That every day he had to fly to America to raise funds for campaign?
Let me push back on that, Aaron. And when CDC was in opposition, they were raising fund here as well.
Yeah,
So
but we said, but at that time we didn't hold the country's second higher position for 12 years.
Yes. What most Unity Party people would say,
What-
and those of
what
us
was
that
it?
admire Ambassador Baka, and I'll put myself in there, is that he's broke because he never stole.
That's not an excuse. So what's about spending the money on yourself? Okay. Let's forget about being broke. What's about spending the money on yourself? Like getting health insurance, and they're talking about when President we are giving money, he's entitled to it because of your statement. No, your pension is different from here now. If somebody gave you something, it's for here now. Your pension is like a pay. You will get it. You will get it. You will get a check. You will get a check, or you get a direct deposit. If somebody comes to you and say, "Oh, Aaron, you have 50 cents here, it's for here now," be appreciative for that.
All right. Okay, let me bring Terry in. Terry, give us one or two sentences so I can open the line for audience that want to participate and do so. Go ahead.
Yeah, you see, when the people say the man broke, you just said the man broke. Then you again said the man coming to America. How you paying your way to come?
You want me to tell you? I can tell you. I can tell you how you pay your way to come.
Give me 10 now. You
Okay.
claim that
Hold on, Aaron. Let him. Go ahead.
Aaron, stop. You guys need to stop. You see, these are the things that you guys will be saying that can be contradicting yourself. The man is not broke. The man is not broke. If somebody tell you, say, I don't have money, it doesn't mean that they broke. No. All right? You know that. You in America, you live in America, you know that. All right? The man say he live on loan. So when you say he got loan, he takes loan, people claim it to be that he living on loan. Then it means that he broke. No.
Aaron, we have to let him speak. Aaron,
I help you small.
Aaron, let him speak.
Because you said it and you contradict yourself because you said the man broke, then the man coming to America. First of all, even the millionaire, Mr. Cummings, can come to America to raise money. Cummings, who is a multi-millionaire. Everybody comes to America to be able to solicit funds. You know how much money the Liberians pump into the Liberians in the diaspora pump into the economy in Liberia. Even President why he travel? He traveled to go look for money. President never had money before he became president, and you know that. But I'm not going to say it because it's a gossip. It's not something that we need to be discussing.
Liberian politician. Both of you are practicing real Liberian politician.
And you know, I'm not really a politician because I don't like politics much. But you know, you guys are following me. But what I wanted to say before you open the number up, Mr. Two, is that you talk about why do I want for Samuel 12 to be fired? I just said it. And he also confirmed it. He said that the man didn't steal the money, but the man did not do the work the right way. So on what ground do you fire somebody? Somebody was given $25 million. And the money that was given to him was not distributed the right way, wherein you will be able to trace who you gave the money to. Does that not warrant firing? If you were if you were my boss and I do that to you, will you not fire me? Will you keep me on the job for 6 years? Then it means that
no. Hold on. If you want to answer, we'll bring you in. We're running it.
You understand?
Okay.
It means that I'm also the reason why you cannot fire me is because you know that you benefited also from the process. That is the reason why you cannot fire me. Okay. That's the only thing that will come to my mind. I'm not saying that is what happened, but that is what will come to my mind.
Aaron, we got a lot of people online. So just make it very brief so that I can have these people.
Get 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 yeah. Less than 30 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
Terry, you live in Minnesota, right? At your job, do you get fired for first offense? I'm gonna just make it that simple to you. Do you get fired today because of your first offense at work?
It depends what kind of offense.
No, Terry, we're not gonna do that. Guys, I'm gonna run.
I thought you were asking me. Sorry.
No, even if he's asking you, you're gonna have to respond when the time is given you. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
You know, I don't know what Samuel Tuah did to the opposition black. He said we shouldn't say opposition, but opposition black. But you know, this is the most hated finance minister I've ever seen in Liberia. I'm telling you. Yeah. And because because of that, if you make if you made a mistake at work, you want them to get fire you, even though you know the job. Your credentials say you know the job, but you want your boss to get fire you because you made a mistake, or somebody say you made a mistake. That's what you say.
All right. Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
Thank you. Okay, guys, let's do this. Sit tight. Well, I'm opening the line. We got people on here. We'll ask them to be very brief, but take down notes so that you will be able to respond to them as we go through this process. Let me go on. The first caller will be our own LPR, Madam COUNTR. You're on. COUNTR, good evening. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. Toll, I want to say hi to you all and to your panelists there and the people of Liberia. I'm glad to be on the show tonight to discuss some of the issue or to rebut, some of what our brother Aaron is saying there. I listened to Aaron when he said that the little and listing the number of last year to the number of 12 years we have worked. Will I show you anything? Look, I tell Aaron, the people have the mentality of somebody is on the line with noise.
Yeah, guys. If you're not gonna be able to mute yourself, then we'll do one line at a time. So go ahead, COUNTR. I got a lot of people waiting on this, so please make it brief. In fact, I will ask you if you can just hold yourself and you be one of the person to call back when we're closing, and you can make a statement. How's that?
Yeah, let me just say there one thing that I just then I will hold back.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
They said that the 12 years the people did not do anything, but here it is. In the 12 years, these people worked the 12 years and were able to accumulate a debt of 1.227 million. Now we have they who have just taken power for 5 years. Now he have 2.43 billion debt on Liberia. And they're trying to say that the man is carrying on development. No, I come from an accounting background. I always like to compare my income against my expenses. If you have an income that is coming in and your expenses is more than your income, then you are running on a deficit. When I'm making analysis, that's where I make my analysis.
Okay.
It means the country is not running properly. But I will hold that for now because I have so many things to hold Aaron for. But
thank you.
And come back later.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aaron.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's go ahead. 724 number. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, David. Davis, we're gonna bring you in, but just hold on. Go ahead. 7242.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Toll. This is Elvis.
Okay,
hello
Elvis.
to Aaron. Hello to Terry.
Hold on, guys. Mr. Tommy So, can I reach out to you? Let me, because I got so many people here. If I reach out, if I pick your call, everybody's gonna drop out. So I'll bring you in as soon as these people are done. Please, Mr. So. Go ahead, Evers. Evers, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I was saying hello.
But before you do that, let me make the announcement. Folks, I can only take 4 at a time. So when I'm done, if I'm not able to put you on, I will call you back if possible. So go ahead. I don't want to be because if I'm not careful, I'll drop everybody else. Go ahead, Evers. Go ahead, make your point.
Thank you. I want to say before I even get to my main point, I agree with Terry on one point. Samuel Tuah should be fired. He hasn't performed admirably. He should be fired. And I'm a supporter of President Weah, and I'm saying that off the bat. But when Aaron said that Joseph Boyka said he's broke, We know that he said that he's broke, and it can't be a true statement because it's like an old man who took all your money and put it on his bed, and he cried like he's poor. We know that he got a lot of money in his house. This man made over $3 million in 12 years' time, so he made a lot of money. He's not broke.
Okay.
But he cried poverty, but in reality, he has a lot of money. So for people to be defending Joseph Boyka as a clean hand man, he's not the kind of man, he's like a mafia boss. He get his underlings to go do corruption and bring the money to him. He send his son, he send his nephew, he send his sister, and then you sit back quietly. You know, the man that work here, you're
entitled, you're entitled, you're entitled. Evan, can you hear me? Evan, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do, that I'm trying to pause, let you pause a little bit. We're running. This is political season, but you're better than that. You're better than that. Try to stay. But Evis, try to stay within the realm of responsibility, which I know you are. Very responsible, highly educated. Don't take us down. Yeah, don't take us down this route.
If we talk tough, then everybody say we're being rude. But we're not cussing anybody. We just
I understand that. I understand that. But just you know, this is election. It's not about war and things for us to be dragging people into these kinds of stuff. So please, okay. But thank you.
Mr. I will not say anything else. I'll leave it. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, let me go on to the next caller. Hold on 1 minute. And guys, try to make it brief because there's so many people here. Ambrose, please make it brief. Go ahead. Ambrose, go ahead. Ambrose, are you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Cole.
Thank you.
Terry, I admire your effort, but your effort, I wish you constructed Joseph Boyka and you're going to defend him. You're going to take some glory. But since the day for the 12 years, I bet he did not. If you can say, we're not an engineer, but that airport, it worth 70 million, then we need to question your estimate. Whatever. How can you get an airport that you say you put 80 million in? The airport can pass an audit.
Okay.
The air association, but are you aware that airport never passed the previous audits that they have? They run it under a condition.
Okay.
The air control, you say you build 80 million or 70 million airport, but the air control is garbage. You still using 1990 or 1821 equipment stay in that place. So what you spend the money on? Because the structure is now worth 20 million.
Okay. Guys, Aaron and Terry, please take notes so that you guys will be able to respond to these things once we come back to you. Go ahead, Amber. Wrap it up so I can bring the other person in, please.
The Apple don't have an apron to say, that was the estimate. So, I really wish I had a time for to go down the list because there's so many things that you said that I really want to disagree with you. I admire you. You did a good job. I think some of the things you say is not accurate and it's not truthful.
Okay.
And, let's be honest. And you said Mr. Boyka had the bill of 77. He's taking people. I wish you can provide our evidence that where people that was 16 or 9 years old or become adult are coming, they are flying back to America.
I can't. I just don't want, because if I ice my niece right now, she's in a house right now doing my daughter. If I were to ask her to come here for me to show her, she won't. She's not gonna do it. I know that. But that's a true story. That's a true story.
I admire you. I love you. But I just hate the way.
Okay.
Are you saying, or just somebody that I admire because you defend him to the letter.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, I'll definitely answer other people's call.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ambrose. Okay. Cobb, you're next. COBB, you're next. What's your name? What you're calling? Well, we know your name now, but what's on your mind? Is somebody gonna have to turn your monitor down?
Mr. Toa, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but turn your monitor down. All right, go ahead. Make your point. Make it brief because we got so many people right now. It's unbelievable. Go ahead. I wish Mr. So were here tonight to help me with some of these numbers. But go ahead.
You speaking to me, Mr. To?
Yeah, carb.
Okay, Mr. To. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. To.
Thank you.
You know, Mr. To, the way you defend Joseph Boga, I really want to do the same thing with the president. Because the first thing you said, when the guy said,
hold on 1 minute. Hold on. Okay, I dropped the other person. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I think that was it. That was where the noise was coming from. Go ahead. The person will call back and I'll let them know. Go ahead, make your point.
I say I love how you defend Joseph Boga. By you saying that man is not corrupt or all those things. First of all, the president never accepted no matter all of him. No order that went on him. All the order that went to him, he refused to be audited. So you man, the probably a lot of places that he work are not being audited. So those record is there. Nobody get record on him that they audited him, never found guilty. There no corruption on him. So that one, the man say he corrupt.
Okay.
They probably were in the government for 12 years. That is the other 20 or 10 years away. The 12 consecutive years as a vice president. There's a lot of money that you receive. He said, made it on Team that show. So if people saying that, oh man, that's corrupt, I'll be able to find it difficult because there is no corruption now. When you accept it for people corrupt to do all it on him, he's found not guilty.
Okay.
So that other one, you have to make it clear.
Thank you.
On the issue, on the other one.
Yeah, please make it brief.
The thing about Joseph Boga doesn't have a corporate management. He lack of corporate management. All his surrounders, all what he's been working with, those are well with him. He have never found suitable corporate management with. All the people that he happened with will either end in leaving him or he leaving them. So those things, if you are supposing him, find it necessary to vote him to be president for that country, Liberia by itself is complete. It's conflict. So if you become president in that country, you can be smart like manage conflict. So if Joseph Boga can manage conflict on his own as an individual, those are what with him, he cannot manage him. Even that the former president, he cannot manage down the Costa who bring the hospital, making sure to come in America here, he cannot manage Costa. So I find it difficult for Joseph Boga to be president in that country because you cannot manage the country correct.
Thank you.
You have a lack of conflict management. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your view. All right, Davis, what's on your mind?
Yeah. I always enjoy you make my day all the time.
Thank you.
What I hear to say here is, President, we are going for 12 years and nobody can stop it. He's strong. He has done his best. He's going for 12 years. He's got a clean sheet record. 2, Omna Boga needs to tell us what he did. Not what Madam Eddie did. He shouldn't run on Eddie's record. Let him run on his own record. As Joseph Newman Boga, this is my record. Let him leave Eddie on. Eddie do your own. Let him put it down. Let him run on his own record. The next thing is he cannot manage CPP. So we cannot give him LIBERIA to manage. Thank you, Mr. Toll.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, next one will be Stephen Newbar, N-E-W-B-Y, Newbar. Are you there?
Hey, Mr. Todami?
Yeah, that would be you. Is that Newbar?
Okay. No, I called from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Abraham.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Talk, we've been long time. Where Mr. So? Long time.
I park in the bike. I park in the garage.
Okay, man, but good to see you guys, man.
Thank you.
It's been a while. We always hear a couple of months ago, we were talking about 150 days, but we're in elections now. We're in campaign. So
Yes.
Yes, already. So I got 3 issues to talk about. One, I listened to my brother, old president. We were broke before he became president. I want to ask which one in the bank that he was working to that President we was banking, whether he was the one that managing his account to that bank. One, if he was not the one, because if somebody were playing sport, were playing soccer, and they were living lavish life, and they left the field, they retire, it's quite different. You can look at DTA, you can look at Ito, you can look at all the other guys that are left this, the soccer field. They living different life than when they were on the pitch, on the field of play. I wonder. Two, let me come to this $25 million. My brother, the finance ministry does not have anything to do with taking a Liberian dollar from the market. I work to the bank as a buck teller on a May June, my brother, on a May June as a buck teller. The bank was solely responsible. I think what happened is that the finance minister gave the check. That's what was talking about. Senator for Johnson. Oh no, I'm a finance minister. Did he took money to go change it on a May June? No. The bank was the one that responsible. All the market women and the flat people that used to bring the money to the bank. The finance minister get bank? No. So all I think it just lie.
Okay.
You just lied, just that, my brother. It was just only 1, 3. I mean the third one before I leave the lamb, Mr. To. You said, Mr. To, he said Joseph Barker and something. Oh no, Joseph Barker fee CPP broke down. You're talking about 72nd. He worked for 172nd. Oh, look at 72nd after she left. What happened there? All the money they gave 72nd, the group of 72nd, what happened to them? They squandered everything. So Joseph Barker denied Mrs. Salif and leadership in 2017. Why he coming back now to say, oh, all the project from Banga to Salaye, that we don't want this year, from Ganta to Sanekwe, we don't want, from Ganta to Lokato, all the things. Look, Mr. Barker doesn't have anything to show. Let he, like the lady just said, let him run on his own legacy. What he had done for the Liberian people, what he had done in the Liberian community.
Okay.
Giving information, so, oh, Samuel told the one that was changing money around. It's lie. There's no finance minister. I'm not going to have ever changed money.
Okay.
Major, I was there as a board from 2013 to 2014.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys come and say, you're not even in the work in the bank. You say, oh, that's where I was broke.
Thank you.
You're working in the bank. You don't want money to your account. Thank you, Mr. To.
Thank you. Mr. So, tell me, so if I pick up your call, everybody gonna drop. Let me deal with these. I will wake you up. Don't go to sleep because I know you got something to tell me. Please don't go to sleep. That's Mr. So. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Next caller, you're next in line. Go ahead. That would be Saturday. Is that correct? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Samson To.
Yeah, yes, we're listening. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yeah, with the two panelists you got over there, one is let's say the government advocate and the other guy. But the fact of the matter here is this. I am happy giving me an opportunity to weigh in a little bit. And major issues of Liberia is that if Joia was a good guy, as a good leader, there are a lot of things that are going on in Liberia, and people accuse the government of doing a lot of stuff. The government is supposed to clarify those things, like people getting missing, Jerome Volia accusing the government. Joshua never debunked those arguments. Two, Joshua failed to audit the previous regime, Ellen Johnson's elite government. And all these things are failure of leadership. So Liberia right now is into a real limbo. As you may know, and as I will know, we've been around for long. You go in Liberia, be very circumspect, which is, in another word, you got to be security minded, or you got to really be careful how you move around. and our security is not guaranteed in Liberia. The president himself said it. And you have to have a CC camera to those that, which one of the typical Liberian, just very few will have access to such a thing. Our people are suffering.
Okay.
And yeah, for that reason, I personally, I'm talking to you, I'm an IE fan. Okay.
Okay, say IE fan, bye-bye, good night. You have a wonderful night. I don't like IE business.
No, hold on.
No, go.
But I cannot support your, yeah. What I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, no, I understand.
Okay?
Thank you for your view. I'm just joking.
Our people are suffering.
Okay, thank you, my brother. I'm just kidding. It has nothing to do with IE. These are things you guys believe, and I want to thank you for your view.
Yeah.
Okay, last caller, go ahead. Okay, thank you, my brother. Go ahead. Last caller, you're on. Go ahead, and then I'll call Liberia. Hello.
3746.
That would be it. That would be the number. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Let me say good evening to you and good evening to your guests in the studio. And I think Aaron finds himself in a very hard zone because the government he's trying to defend, it's not an easy thing to defend the government of George Weah. All of the things that are going on in this government, for one, to sit and say you want to defend this government. My brother, I know you play the soccer game with George Weah. We know some of the stories about your ups and downs. We will not bring that on the platform. We know some of the things you went through personally in the hand of George Weah when you're playing the national team. But let's leave that. Let's discuss the national level right now at the country like Liberia. On a George Weah. Insecurity. You as a young man, look at what's going on a George Weah in the last 6 years. The death rate in the country. As if to say we were fighting war. Even under the former president or Charles Taylor, who was a rebel leader, the death rate under George Weah is surpassed what we saw during Taylor's time. People die unnecessarily. Look at our young people right now in Liberia. The drugs. Under George Weah, we claim he's a peaceful man, former peace ambassador. See what's happening under his watchful eye. The drugs killing our children. Because we are having said a thing about it. You have a country in just in less than 3 weeks. You have over $140 million worth of drugs. The first time ever in the existence of Liberia. I'm learning from UCB now. The first time ever. And then how you talking about roads? Come on, Aaron, don't go there.
Okay.
This government has not raised a dime since they came into power for 1 mile of road. You have never raised 1 cent for 1 mile of road. Not one.
Okay.
The one you boosted from Monroe to downtown, going all the way to Granger, that was something that was funded. The money was raised by Madam Salih's government.
Thank you.
Corruption. This is a milking the party less than 6 months he did work for the not on the million. There are a lot of things to think about, my brother.
Thank
the
you.
Corruption rate in this government is way too high. This government got a bunch of criminals and they cannot be trusted with take power for the next 6 years. They must go.
Thank you. Thank you for your view.
Don't do that to your people.
Thank you. Thank you for your view. We appreciate it. All right, folks, let me go ahead. Aaron and Terry, let me make one call quickly. He's been calling from Liberia the whole time, but I couldn't pick him because if I did that, the entire system would collapse. So let me call him right back. If I can even. Okay, yeah, he is. So let me call him. He called so many times. Let me call him. I hope you will answer. Yeah, Mr. Soteng, you're live on LIBERIAN Public Radio. I know you've been calling all the time, but I couldn't
I've been calling.
Yeah,
I understand you because I was monitoring from my other phone.
Okay.
But before I just start, I'm going to boycott LIBERIAN Public Radio for 1 month for breaking Aaron on that platform. That platform is an intellectual platform, and he come there to talk things that it doesn't even go in line. I'm telling you, I will boycott LPR for 1 month. Yes. So let me say this to you, or two. People, this thing we're talking is for Liberia, not because you have friends or somebody is in the government or you're getting something. You know what the country looks like? I'm Jack from Rawafi. It's a health hole right now. It's a death trap. You're talking about Boyka. I don't have money. He got to go rally. Why in America? You know what? You're supposed to know campaign. Campaign is all about rally. And people are doing it because they have confidence in him. They have confidence in him. To be a vice president, I will teach small savings. A vice president is just a ceremonial position. Talk about a vice president on for 17 unbroken years. He did not show anything to this one. But when he became president, he was one of the most successful presidents in Liberia. What they want for Joseph Boakai to do, their government took over. They did not even set up a committee or a transitional government to check and balance the outgoing government. Oh, they just send people. We want me in the office. We want me in the office. We want me in, and that's how they left. And you know the reason why they didn't all it because they know they were going to do the worst thing. They were going to do the worst thing. They never called us talking about the airport. If you know the airport was not built with the amount that given, you can audit. You can audit. That's what a responsible government will do. But you know what? People sit over there and they say things about this country. This country for all, and nobody going to run from here. You're talking about CCTV camera. But then you also have CCTV camera in the place that they murder him in the cold blood. And people that when they come out to say this thing, I wonder what they have people back here. Samson, you're in the diaspora. They kind of pressure that on you. If things were in America, people don't complain because when they go to job, whatever job they do, they're going to get money for it. But almost everybody in Liberia now have to go to remittance, send wave, whatever it is. Unless those people that are talking to someone, they don't even get family back here. They don't even care for them. That's what they're talking about kind of thing. Because if you're paying your nephew and niece's school fee, you will not be sitting down on that thing and be talking there. Somebody took out $25 million and they just say, oh, they give it to people, Fuga people. They go find out the people not even existing. Then you say, the other guy say he work in the bank and all of that. So even at that, if you work in the bank and the government gave a project, and money that intended for that project, if it's not implemented, you don't think they have reason to question the people that give it? Look at Ralphie Highway today. All that thing. Joseph Boakai, if the other man said Joseph Boakai, he that helling something. Yeah, but he worked in helling government.
Okay.
And you know, they had always carry it. They always talk about Charter administration, Samuel Doe administration, and Joe Weah administration. Even tomorrow, Joe Weah going the other way. Charter is in the Hague, Syria Island, all the big people that are winning, they say down there. No. He's a head. He's responsible for it. So again, I'm going to boycott LPR for 1 month.
Let me push back. Let me push back on that. It seems like you are a strong supporter of Ambassador Boakai. Would I not? Is that going to be?
No. You don't have to say that one day. If you see the man, baby, you see it greasy.
Okay, then let me push back on this. Then, if you're going to sanction somebody because of their view, and you expect the ambassador to come to power, is that what we should be expecting from you guys? Whenever somebody says something,
I'm speaking as Thomas. I've been monitoring the LPR all the time. Hold on. Every time I listen to it, like Sissy Goy or even the leader that call, you know, it's an intellectual. It's not compared to that. It always balances. Yeah, even though he might take your own side, but you can give the good and bad part. But he come out to say things and say, "Oh, the man is broke." Ambassador Boakai should give a bank book to you to see that what he gets.
Yes, Mr. So the point that I'm trying to make here is this: in as much as you might not agree with him, I think he has the right. When the forum is given to him, when the opportunity is there, he has the right to express it as long as he's done it within the confines and the rule
so
of
I get
LPR.
a right to sanction. I get a right to sanction.
You have the right to sanction, but I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you to reconsider.
I'm not a spokesman. I'm not a spokesman. I'm not a spokesman for Ambassador Boakai. I'm just saying my own feeling. If you want me to reconsider, I will reconsider because I know the LPR is an intellectual forum.
Yeah, please reconsider, and we will bring people on, and we're not going to.
I lived the embargo. I lived the embargo.
All right, thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.
Okay. All right, folks. Again, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. Thank you, Mr. So. Thank you very much. So, Aaron, the embargo has been lifted, and now you. Somebody killed me. Okay, folks. Aaron, Terry. First of all, I want to really take my hat off to you guys, as young as you are, and to be this much level-headed. And be this much patient, your level of patience here tonight it's unbelievable. You have not jumped in, and when the colors come and try to say some things and so what have you, none of you interrupted the cutters. I would have. You see me here most of the time, and that's why Mr. So will come here and I will get at it because I will come and defend myself right away. But I think you guys are big my time tonight, to be honest with you. And so I want to thank you guys very much. I think we need to do these kinds of stuff from time to time. So, but let me get your first of all, let's take 2 minutes each to respond to each of these things if you have it. If not, you can utilize that 2 minutes to be your closing. So let's start with Terry. Terry, do you have a rebuttal to any of the comments from the callers at all?
Well, most of the callers did not really say anything much, but like the guy who said, one guy said the airport is in $80 million, the same thing Aaron said. And I answered that already by saying that why didn't President we are audit the airport if you don't trust that the airport was $80 million but as cleaned by the previous government. Another person said JMB is broke, and all of that. And then he said JMB is not broke. So, yeah, he said people say JMB broke, but JMB not broke. He hiding his money, blah, 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 and all of that. These are all Liberian perceptions. Somebody said, nobody audit JMB, refused for people to audit him. Wow, that stood up to me. That JMB refused for the people to audit him. If that was the case, then John Molu would not be on the team. He would not be on the rescue team. Because at the time, John Molu was the senior auditor in Liberia. And John Molu said it the last time on the program that it was the Senate, the House of Representatives, the Senate, they refused to be audited. And JMB is not the Senate. He's just the head of the Senate. He does not control that area. He does not call the shots in the Senate. So you got to understand that. All right. Another one, somebody said JMB couldn't manage CPP. That also is laughable. How about CPP could not manage JMB? I would go with that. Reason being is simple. Mr. Cummings said he wanted to be president. All right. He can't take nothing less. And Musa Belete said on one program that there was a clause that was incited in the CPP framework document, which forbid for other political parties to leave the CPP because it was incited there to protect Mr. Cummings. He said it on his phone talk. Go and put it up. You're listening to him. So it means that for sure something happened. But again, JMB did not even go to the court after Mr. Ure sued him. He was subpoenaed by the court to appear. And when JMB appeared, almost the same thing that Musa Berete said, that was the same thing JMB said, that we don't understand this particular clause. So the problem here is that JMB was not the cause for CPP to break apart. CPP was the conglomeration of big political institutions that came together and felt within themselves that they could handle the process. Unfortunately, they disagree on some issues that have to do with leadership. One man wanted to, Mr. Cummings never wanted to go as VP, and JMB never wanted to go as VP. That was where the disagreement was. All right. And I would not blame it on JMB because these were all well-established, organized political institutions that had the various leaders with their own visions. And they decided to pull off because they felt the process was not going to work.
Thank you.
That is what it is.
Thank you. Okay, just maybe 1 or 2 seconds of closing from you, and then we can go to Aaron.
You see, most of the callers said it, even though most of the callers beat on me, but at least 2 or 3 guys helped me. But I want to show you this. U.S. Department 2022 Human Rights Report on Liberia captured report of extrajudicial killings, cruel punishment by government. These are some of the reasons why we cannot permit for President Weah to get second term. The United States is our major ally and supporting arm. Within 6 years, President Weah government have received 3 major sanctions on 3 major government officials on the foundation of corruption. And now, report coming up in 2022 concerning extrajudicial killing and cruel punishment. We cannot have this, my brother. My thing is to all of you across the aisle, all right, and seditions, think about Liberia that today, if you make mistake to put President Weah back into leadership, you must understand that anything that goes wrong in that 6 years, you will be held responsible. You will be the one that will be the cause for Liberia to go down to the drain. You can make that decision now to help Liberia to to progress instead of retrogress by helping President Weah, because in my opinion, President Weah is not a bad guy. But the problem with him is that he does not know what to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Aaron, go ahead. You got about 5 minutes to respond to the callers and make your closing as well.
So thank you, Mr. To. Let me speak out to Sis Carter, my own big sister. I always call her Sis Carter. First of all, even in the great United States, the government here borrow money. If the U.S. called their debt, she wouldn't even want to be in America to work. Okay, so every government borrow money. It depends on what your situation is at a particular time. That's the amount of money you're going to borrow. If your revenue is not generating what you projected or what you expected to get to run your country, you're going to borrow money. You just have to have good credit to borrow the money. So, Sis Carter, every government borrows money, okay? Because we borrow more money than y'all doesn't mean that our government is bad. Thank you. Then let me speak to the person who said if President Weah was a good president, he would have, spoken to everything that happened in the country. The government of Liberia have a communication arm, which is the Ministry of Information. Every time killing go on in Liberia, every time somebody is, dead in Liberia, when the police gather report, the Ministry of Information comes out and speak about this report. It's not the president's place to go and adjudicate murder cases. No, it's not the president's place. They got justice ministry, they got police department, and investigations take time. Even in the great United States that we live, there are a whole lot of cases that are going cold for years. For years. So if you don't hear the president speaking, it doesn't mean that the president, don't care about what's going on, or the president is not paying attention to the Liberian people. Once the Ministry of Information comes out and speak about these murders, the Justice Ministry tax the police to investigate them. Investigation is ongoing. So we need to give the police chance, let them do their investigation. That's what I would say about the speaking to murders in the country. And let me talk to my brother who said I'm in a high place. He made mention about the same deaths going on in the country, president telling people to use CCTV and all that stuff. Even in America, every one of us here got CCTV. Okay, if the president said that, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But it's not a bad thing to get for somebody to ask you to get CCTV. It's for your own protection. It's for your own protection. So people need to understand these things. So that's the reason why when we in the diaspora, when we come on this platform, we communicate these things to these people that, look, the comment this person made is not a bad thing. People in America, people tell them to get CCTV every day. Every day. It might not be the president, it might not be the governor of the state or the mayor, but for your own security, police officers will advise you to get CCTV. So people need to understand that. And lastly but not the least, before I go to my closing, let me speak to my brother who said he's going to bulk out the LPR because it's an intellectual platform. he's not even sounding like an intellectual. That's the first thing. Because if you're gonna block our platform because somebody expressing because somebody expressing their opinion, then you're now intellectual.
Hold on, Era. The guy that just spoke, he has a master degree. I mean, very highly intellectual. So,
but the fact that he should be able to speak, to debate the issue with somebody else. He shouldn't come and say he's going to boycott the platform. The platform has nothing to do with my ideas. The platform has nothing to do with my.
Seriously,
I know you were joking.
He was just joking. He knows you very well, and I think if I call his real name, you will know him too. You know him well. But
my brother, the LPR platform is an intellectual platform, and we come here every day to express our opinions and our views about Liberia. We all love Liberia. One thing, we all want to see Liberia prosper. Okay, so let me go to my closing. Thank you again, Terry, for seeing your face. I always hear your voice on the phone. Thank you for making yourself, available for this conversation today. And thank you again, Mr. To. To all Liberians out there, okay, we got two options. Okay, we got one person coming to tell you that, what I didn't do in 12 years, when you give me power now, I'm going to do it. And you got another person who has already started doing stuff, tangibles, have been shown in the country. Roads connectivity, paying wire fees, constant electricity in the town. You name it. There's a whole list of things that the president has done already to tell you that he deserves a second term, to continue what he has started already. So if you're out there as a Liberian, you're in Liberia, do you want somebody who will tell you, say, this is what I can do? Or do you want somebody who already started doing what he said he was going to do, to continue on what he has started doing already? So this is why I'm going to leave it, Mr. To. I want to say thank you again. Thank you to Terry for making yourself available. I really enjoyed the discourse. I hope to do this again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you too, very much.
Thank you. Before you guys leave, I want you to do me one other favor here, please, and that is after the show, look around or even call your buddies and think if this is something that perhaps you guys want to do on a regular basis. We would like to do that because I think having both of you here was just fun to do, and it was also enlightening, to be honest with you, because we've been out here more than 2 hours and nobody come up with a language that I have to push back to say I'm not comfortable with. And I think all of you, the both of you, were able to hold your own, and we really appreciate it. So please make phone call around your circle, the people who have watched this, and so they will be able to say if they want you guys to continue this, we can do that. Because I think I enjoy having conversation with both of you. I want to thank you very much, Terry, Mr. Collins, Aaron Butler, Mr. Butler. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll say good night to all of you.
Good night, Mr. To. Thank you very much.
Again, folks, Samson to LIBERIAN Public Radio. The show has come to an end, of course. I just want to say this here very quickly. When these young people come out and able to hold their own for over 2 hours, and even caller comes in and make call, and yet still they are able to maintain themselves in that, maintain the spirit, high spirit, ready to engage. I think we should take our hat off to these young people here very much and say thank you, thank you. I hope many of you will take this program tonight and say you enjoy it. If so, please let us know, and then we can have these young people, even if it's not weekly, even every other 2 weeks, we'll bring them on. They're in the same street, but they're on both sides of the street, but they want the street to be paved with gold. And so we like to solicit their view as much as possible. Let us also understand, though, that every view that was expressed by the colors and even the participant here tonight, it was the view that those are their own view. I cannot And with LDPR, we're not sanctioning any one view, except from time to time I've been accused by Mr. Soul of saying that I tried to sanction people's view and things like that. Yeah, but then again, those are his conservative view. They don't move me a bit. I want to say thank you very much, all of you that tuned in tonight. Mr. Imaya Boa, thank you very much, all the way over there and still watching. We say thank you, Mr. Soul, all the way in Liberia, not sleeping time today and still calling in. We say thank you as well. Folks, that will be the end of the show tonight. And with that said, I will say thank you and good night.
Let's come together.